So I'm Jen Kirkpatrick. I have been going to Eastview now for a little over 10 years. And when I married my husband, moved up to Bloomington, he was already attending Eastview and it felt like home. So I've been serving in the Foundry with the 4th and 5th grade team for quite a long time, actually. So it was really important for me to get connected. We have a great leadership team in there. And I'm very thankful for them because they allow us that space to connect with the kids. And it's always very important for me for girls to have confidence. And I'm thankful for those opportunities where I can encourage them of building their confidence in their identity and who they are in Christ. After my husband and I were married, we decided that we wanted to have one more child. And I have a child from my first marriage, and then he has a child from his first marriage. So we decided to have a child together. A little bit after my daughter was born, I started noticing just a little bit of tingling in my face. And then in April 2017, it was getting more and more frequently. So I decided I better go and see a chiropractor, see what they can do. And my chiropractor was just like, hey, I can't do anything for you. He's like, I need you to go and get an MRI done and see a neurologist. And so we did the MRI. And I remember being at work, we got the news that it was a brain tumor. And so we followed up, of course, with the neurologist, and they found that it was a benign brain tumor, but it was pushing on my right trigeminal nerve. And so the type of tumor that I have is very small and grows very slowly. So we were able to monitor the growth of the tumor. And then finally it came time that the tumor was growing, the symptoms were getting worse. I was starting to get some sharp shooting pains that, were very uncomfortable. The tingling was moving up my face. And so all of this is on the right side. It was pushing on the right side of the trigeminal nerve. He decided, he was just like, you can keep waiting. You could do radiation, or we can go ahead and go in and take it out. He was like, you're young, you're healthy, and might be the better option. He was like, but it's up to you. We're like, okay, we can do this. I'm healthy, I'll recover, it will be fine. And so we scheduled the surgery. It was actually in November of 2020 during the pandemic. My husband and I went in. Of course, it was just he and I, and because no one else could go with us. And I didn't understand why everybody was making a big deal about it. I was just like, it's just brain surgery. It's not a big deal. And the nurse was like, okay, it's time. And it was like 20 minutes. It wasn't very long at all. And so my husband's like, okay, I guess you're going. And the surgery lasted much longer than what it was supposed to. It was about an 8-hour surgery. So there's my poor husband by himself and waiting to hear how it went. And the doctor would give some updates. But ultimately, the tumor was growing into the trigeminal nerve that they weren't anticipating. So to extract it out and extract as much of it as they could, they dug into that trigeminal nerve. And it was damaged. And I remember him saying, it's still intact. It's gonna regenerate. And a lot of this will go away. Post-surgery, when I walked out, well, I didn't walk out, but as I was laying there, I had double vision. I couldn't see normally, and so I had the double vision. I had horrible headache. They ended up having to do a spinal tap to release some of the fluid. They just were very confident that everything would recover. The double vision would go away, your pain would go away, because I was in intense pain. About 3 months later, the double vision recovered, but I still had immense numbness. I can draw a line down my face, and this whole side of my face is numb, it's tingly, I have burning sensations, I have a thumping noise in my ear because the nerve is overreacting and it's pulling on a muscle that controls the eardrum. So it's intense. There's days where I have horrible headaches, migraines. So I'm on a lot of medication to control these symptoms, but it takes enough of the edge off that I can live my life with my husband, our daughters. We have 2 teenage daughters. We have a 19-year-old, a 16-year-old, and then we have the 8-year-old. And so I try not to let it impact my day, but it's hard. It's extremely hard. And the only way that I get through it is my time with God, first thing in the morning. I come over and I sit on the couch and I open the Word. And I just say, God, I need you today. I need you every day. And I need you all day. Because this is a 24-hour experience for me, all day, every day. And He gives me strength. And He encourages me. He keeps me going. And He allows me to have joy. It's hard when you expect something to be a simple recovery, because I was young and healthy, and when it didn't, when it's so damaged that it won't. And so I say, there may be no medical options that a doctor can do, but I get to witness every day the miracle that God gives me to wake up, to be encouraged, to put a smile on my face, and be present for my family. And honestly, the only way I could do that is with God and His Word and the power that lives inside of us in Jesus. And I encourage others that might be struggling of how do I go on through this. You don't, but you do through Christ. He gives you words, He gives you hope, and He can bring any hard situation into joy. I get to look at my girls and they get to see, what God can do. And I find that exceptionally precious for our family.